Hello, this is Colorful Pirate. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you all of my completed coloring pages. I have been coloring for just about 2 years, well, a year and a half, pretty seriously, even though I bought some of my coloring books probably in 2017, so kind of off and on. I'm going to go ahead and start with some of my recent work that I've done for Olga Rani's weekly challenge prompts, and this is one that I'm working on right now in Manic Botanic by Irina Vinick. The prompt is Dragonfly. So I've done this in some Tombow sets that I recently purchased that were on sale. You'll see those in my March haul. The pastel set and the landscape set mostly. Pretty happy with how that's turning out. I still need to do some shading and with pencil and add some sparkly bits. I've got 2 weeks this time to work on it, which is nice. Next we have Pirates by Rj Hampson. This has been on my list for a very long time, but I still hadn't picked it up. And then recently a lot of you color tubers had been buying and coloring in their books, particularly Coloring with Kay and a few others, so I decided time to get myself this book. And I colored this one for the boat prompt by Olga Rani. Excuse me. I based it all in Toiletry alcohol markers. Decided the waves were kind of really the focal point. So I spent more time shading those in with Prismacolors, or maybe it was my Castle Arts, I'm not sure. And then I did the pirates and maybe a little bit of a rush job, but just some sparkling in their hats and pipes. I like Olga Rani's challenges. It's teaching me to be quicker and to be a little bit less precious with my coloring, so I can just get some done. So that's Rj Hampson, Pirates. This is one of the books that I got many years ago. I didn't really color in it until 2019 after my son was born. I remember I worked on these 2 spreads. I colored this with Marco Raffine colored pencils that my mom had sent me. And I colored this with Zebra mild liners. It's a bit sketchy, but it's kind of artistic. It's got a look to it. This is definitely before I knew anything about coloring as a community or was taking it seriously as a hobby at all. It just seemed like a really cool book I wanted. I did this recently. This is the last Olga Rani prompt that I completed. This was for Angel. I think I got it in right under the wire as well. It was the last picture in her slideshow. I based it in Derwent ink tints. I did some shading with my new Polychromos set, and I really like it. I was able to do more individual fluffy hair type things with that, and did Mungyo pastel in the background, and then the bubbles I outlined with the Pentel Hybrid Dual. I can't really tell. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. That's my latest completed picture. Here we have World of Flowers. This was also a very early purchase. Kind of wanted to, before she released How to Draw Inky Wonderlands, I bought this actually because I was interested in maybe getting inspired on drawing flowers from it. There's just a tester page. I did this, I want to say early 2020. This was right at the beginning of me really starting to get into coloring. I did all this with my Tombows, I think. I had a couple sets of Tombows from bullet journaling. I wanted to see how they worked on the paper. Couldn't really get very good blends with them, but yeah, the color palette's kind of all over the place, but it's nice. Then I have these two that are definitely not done, but this will be interesting because I did this a really long time ago. And then I did these two in 2020 when I started watching color tubers. And I'm gonna at some point do this one, but I want it to be a little ways away from those so there's a progression of my skill level. And I don't know if I'll ever come back to this one, but I was doing this with fine liners and the leaves and started with some Tombow. I might come back to it. Magical Jungle by Joanna Basford. More of a recent purchase since I started collecting. And so I have not I've almost completed this page with super tips. I just wanted to straight color it, just get it done. I think I was feeling really anxious that day. I need to finish the butterflies for it to really be done, but then I went in with some sort of colored pencil to try to do some shading. Again, all kind of just messy and rushed and not taking myself too seriously, but kind of like how that looks. I need to get back to this book. Lost Ocean was also pretty long ago that I got. I completed this using the Lyra Rembrandt Polycolor pencils. Got some metallic gel pen on the silver chain. Yeah, had a lot of fun, did a lot of shading. I really like how those pencils work. I think I do like oil-based pencils, which I think they're supposed to be oil-based pencils. But yeah, this took me a while. I really enjoyed doing it. And then I'll show you this work in progress. It is very bright. I hope that's coming across. I got a new ring light that'll hopefully help with the colors being true. Yeah, very neon, very bright, very loud. I need to keep working on it. This is a good anxiety piece when I'm just feeling it or not feeling it. I have Millie Murata's Brilliant Beasts. This is a compilation book, and I think this is done. I'm still trying to make up my mind, but I've been working on it for a while. So I guess I was thinking of like a cosmic serpent type rainbow creature. I did the background with acrylic paint. I based all the little shapes with Cali Art water brush markers, and then I shaded it with Prismacolor and re-outlined all the shapes with fine liners. And then the yellow is Jodo Glaze. And yeah, I couldn't make up my mind. I started doing this kind of fade away, fade out, and then was like, I don't know if I'm happy with that, so I decided to try using a Posca pen to outline it instead. And now I'm left with both, and I don't know, I kind of think it's like it's coming into being, so it's getting more sharp as it gets closer to you, and I don't know, it's probably done. There. I recently got her Secrets of the Sea. This is her newest book, I believe. And I did this sea bug, sea lice. I forget exactly what it is, but I had just gotten the new Mellow Pentilla Hybrid Duals through AliExpress, and just playing with the shiny. And did Jelly Roll Moonlight for the greens. Yeah, it's fun. It's loud. It's out there. It's done. Good project for watching a show. I was watching Dirk Gently's Mystic Detective Agency. Okay, this I think was like the second book that I ever bought. I bought this back in 2017. Yeah, I was still in college. And I back then when I first got my Tombos, I was experimenting and colored this in, and I really liked how it was turning out, but back then I just did not have the patience to try to finish it. Now I think I could. I'd break it up into the pieces, but maybe I'll finish it eventually. And then I did back then some really simple coloring with my Prismacolors, but again, something I may need to finish. And then this was the first double page spread I finished when I started taking coloring more seriously. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I was watching more color tubers and started thinking about limiting my color palette, and so I did all the butterflies and just these purples and pinks. Those were Castle Art gel colored pencils. And then I did the bird in ink tints, 2 coats, and then did some shading with the colored pencils. And I really like how the green and the yellow contrast all the purple butterflies, and then I brought the purple and the pink back into the bird as well. So Mungyo pastel background, white gel pen, a lot of fun. I'm really happy with that piece. So that's Kirby Rosanna's Imagomorphia. Oh, I almost forgot one. This is Joanna Basford's latest book, Worlds of Wonder. I have a work in progress here. I just got my Prismacolors. Man, with this I was really chewing through the pencils, and I got a little freaked out, and so I backed off on working on it, but I was putting down a lot of layers. And I like how it's turning out. I wanted to mostly keep these 2 colors and then a few blues. I come back to it, but... And then I completed the mushroom house for Joanna's contest. And I really like how it turned out. I used Brute Funner Square colored pencils. Some Jelly Roll Glaze on the pink dots. Jelly Roll Moonlight. Got a little bit of from that, but I could fix it. But yeah, I really like how this turned out. I did some fine liner outlining on things that needed to come forward, and yeah, just really enjoyed working on that. We have Hannah Carlson. I have several of her books, but I've only colored in this one, well, successfully colored in this one so far. I will get to the other ones soon. It's intimidating, as a lot of colorists say, but I did this one. Did this winter 2020, and I did the Lyra Rembrandt polycolor pencils. My first time doing a gemstone. Some gold gel pen, probably Pentel, Mungyo background. I tried to do with the Arteza Real brush pens, I tried to get a watercolor background, but it wasn't working, so I just went in with the Mungyo, and that turned out alright. So, yeah, pretty happy with that one. I got a lot of likes online with a nice contrast, I think, between the yellows and the blues. We have Luna by Maria Trolle. I have this work in progress with the Arteza watercolor pencils. Nothing really to write home there about, just kind of testing it out, seeing how they worked. And then I did this one recently, February, for Olga Rani's weekly challenge, the Swans. I really like how this one turned out. I've never tried to color anything white before, and so I learned about how many different colors you have to put in something to make it look white, which is definitely something new to me. So I used Brute Funner Squares and a little bit of silver gel pen in her robe. Sorry about that noise, I don't know what that was. Angela Porter, Be Stress-Free in Color. This was something I got pretty early on too once I started collecting. And I really like her style of zendoodly. This was one of the first things I really finished once I started getting into the hobby. I did this with Ergosoft, Staedtler Ergosoft, and I really like how it turned out. I like trying to make things look 3D, and that kind of lent itself to it. I did this Dragonfly and Roses, Elm Colors on YouTube. Had a tutorial about how she uses water-based markers in coloring books, and I did this following her advice of putting the marker on a palette and then picking it up with the blender and spreading it around. And I like, it's a kind of watercolor effect. I like this book because I feel freer to experiment and just kind of wing it and see what happens, and really surprise myself sometimes with what I can achieve, and I don't overthink it. Yeah, and then there's this. This was pretty early on too in my hobby. I think this was the first one I colored in this book. I did a base in alcohol markers and probably Cali art, or no, probably my Ohuhu. Yeah, and then I shaded with Rose Art color pencils. Those are the ones I had at that point. An old set of Rose Art. And yeah, trying to make things pop and recede and look 3D. And there's some silver gel pen in there. It's hard to see though. I think this is the last one I completed in this book. It's simple, but I like it. It makes me happy. It's got silver and gold gel pen. And then, yeah, this is the Cali art alcohol markers. This was the first mandala that I ever colored. And I look back and I think it's so funny because I was over it before I even got halfway through it. And it's so simple now. I could color this in like 10 minutes and do a much better job. It was very messy. I learned about how I need to be careful with the silver gel pen drying and covering lines, and but yeah, I just remember feeling so impatient to be done, and now look at me doing these crazy things that take so much longer to do. I did this when I first got my Cali art alcohol markers. Shaded it with probably the Rose Arts again. Did some shading with the alcohol markers, or blending, kind of tried to smooth it out with the colored pencils, and I was just really messing around, you know, not trying to achieve anything, and I like how it turned out. It's funny how that works. This was some anxiety coloring, just trying out the Cali art water brush markers and learning about streaks. And I guess if I went over it again with the same colors, it'd probably smooth out a bit, but you know what? It's done. It's a thing I did. Happy with it. It's nice to have multiple pages finished in a book for once. And this is something I was working on. I really need to get back to. I did this all with Rose Art colored pencils, the only thing I had at that point. And you know, I used to, when I was in art in school, back in high school, I loved making things look 3D, and I really enjoyed doing this, but I was trying to keep a limited color palette and I got stuck. I just wanted to start throwing all the colors at it, but that's something I've learned to avoid doing, and to just power through the boredom of the same colors, because it looks great in the end, you know? So that's Be Stress-Free in Color by Angela Porter. This is a Julie Anna Emerson book. I'm really upset because I wanted to get the Dragon Kingdom and Fantasy Kingdom books by her through the same publisher, but they've disappeared from Amazon. They've disappeared from Facebook. Nobody's answering my email for the contact on the back. I'm really sad. I really wanted those books. I just kept putting it off. But yeah, I've completed this one. I hosted Art Nouveau in April color along last year, and yeah, had a lot of fun with this one. I did all of this with Cali Art alcohol markers, no pencil, and I don't know, I mean it looks great. There's a lot of nice blends in there, but man, it's a lot of work going back and forth between 5 markers. I don't know, I mean, I guess what's the difference between 5 colored pencils, but it was a lot of work, and there's a lot of bleeding, so I had to go through and outline everything thicker, which works really well with Art Nouveau. You know, there's always a pretty thick outline, so yeah, that's all alcohol marker and some gold gel pen. I like how his eyes flash. I also learned that some white gel pens cannot resist an alcohol marker. They colored it. I don't know. Anyway, super sad. I want to find the rest of those Julian Anderson books. Here we have Creepy Kawaii by Rj Hampson. I love all of her books. I've only done this one though. This is a creepy lunar moth. Kind of looks like a skull moth. I don't know. Based this with Ohuhu pastel alcohol markers. First time trying to show like light being on other things, so I think I did an okay job of that. I did Jelly Roll Moonlight with the matte neon green, and then I got some folk art glitter in the background, and some Pentel Hybrid Dual. Did some shading with Prismacolors, tried to keep it light, some white highlights, and yeah, I really like how this turned out. I'm glad I shaded it in. I was thinking about just leaving it flat, but he's so cute. I love him. Next we have the Medusa Doll Maker coloring book. I love her Etsy art. She's an artist on Etsy, and she put this together, and I bought it up immediately. I don't have a good printer to do PDFs, so once she put this out, I was like, yes, Amazon can print it for me. And you know, I'm not that upset about Amazon print paper. I think I can still do some pretty good stuff. This is all Prismacolor, so it's not so bad. I do wish I would have based it in markers first. It would have made my job a lot easier, but I really enjoyed working on this. All Prismacolor except for the shiny, the frame, the stars, and her jewelry is Caliro watercolor paints. And yeah, I did this in November. I started it for Halloween, but slow colorist. Yeah, I really enjoyed working on this. I love her artwork so much. You should go buy this book. There's a pretty famous, yeah, like, I just love it. There's another one, her gamer piece. Let me see if I can, yeah, this one's pretty popular. Got the Mario and the Mega Man and all of these classic game things, and then the Art Nouveau beauty, like, I love it. Yeah, work some more in this book. Next we have Guardians of the Enchanted Forest by Forest Diver. I'm going to learn my lesson from Julian Anderson, and I'm going to pick up all the books that I want from this artist. This is from Julia Rivers' collection, but the artist is Forest Diver. I've done this one for Mermaid last year. Yeah, I think last year. And yeah, based it in alcohol marker, then color pencil shading, Jelly Roll Moonlight for highlights, some Pentel Dual in the hair strands. I really like how her tail turned out up here and with the white highlights, and just yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. Learned a lot of things. I added the bubbles with a stencil. Yeah, I think she turned out really beautiful. I need to work in this book some more too. So many books, so little time. How are we doing on time? Okay. This is 101 Unique Mandalas from Camellia Angelkova. I had these marked, but this is my second time recording. Hopefully the lighting's better this time. did this snowflake. Did this in July of 2021. And it's got some silver bits. I like it. I think I did it with a Sharpie Mystic Gems and then a pink gel pen, maybe Moonlight. I outlined the whole outside because it just seemed like it was missing something. And that took a long time to do that. Here I was experimenting with just picking random markers, a la Nikki Niagara. I did this July 21. And it is terrible. I guess I could have cheated more than I did. I did pick the bright red because what I was getting with the brown and the dark brown and the dark gray and the dark red, I just thought, oh my god. So I think I also picked out this red metallic. So the light is a red metallic gel pen. Yeah, I think I'm going to give myself permission to redraw the markers next time I try to do that. Because it was not fun working on that either. This cool, bright colored one. These are all alcohol markers. I think it's all Cali Art. Well, this is definitely Cali Art. And then Castle Art pens, gel pens. I got this color combination off the side of some sort of soda can. Sometimes if you look at the cans, they have like 3 squares that make up all the colors that are on the can. I don't find it on all of them, but I found it on that. And I used those colors, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. This one, I believe I did with the cow tree. Sparkly. Really enjoy that. I'm starting to learn about limited color palettes. They're your friend. This was a random marker challenge. It actually turned out all right. I think the colors fit the vibe of this Far East kind of style of mandala. Did this in July as well. I got this book in July and I did a bunch of them all at once. I think this is the first one I did in there. I didn't even date it yet. A little bit of shiny. I like this. Wasn't sure there was enough of a difference when I was doing it, but I like the green and the teal and the blue, and then the pop of pink. It's nice. This was random color choices from my Ohuhu pastel set. And this was a good experience to do the random markers because I usually wouldn't pick like tan and this weird brown. I wouldn't ever just pick those colors, but neutrals are also your friend. I need to figure that out as well. Like, it doesn't all have to be bright. I mean, it can be if you want, but it's nice to bring it down to reality, ground it in something brown. And then this was with the Mystic Gems set, and some sort of bright. Oh no, I think that's all just Sharpie. Oh, maybe a little bit of glitter. Yeah, kind of pastel. I've got Camellia Angelova's 50 Stylish Mandalas. I think this is probably my favorite. I need to do some more in it. I got it fairly recently. I looked up some cyberpunk color palettes. It's the first time I ever actually looked up a color palette and used it. I now have a color catalog, which is really handy. But yeah, I did this in November of last year. And there's some sparkly blue and red in there, and just the reds and the blues and the pinks. Very cyberpunk 2770. This was another one of the palettes that I found looking up cyberpunk, and I like it. It's not giving me, I mean, the image was very cyberpunk, but this mandala is not. That's all I've done in there. And also by Camellia Angelova, the 50 Halloween Mandalas. Love this book. It's so cute. I just love Halloween. makes me so happy. I started that with the towel tree. Sparkly. I did this one with, let's say, Cali art again. Yeah, Cali art. Alcohol markers, shaded it with probably Prismacolors, might have been Brewfunner. Jelly Roll Moonlight. Some sparkly, some silver gel pen. I just love the idea of like a pumpkin snowman. I guess it's just a pumpkin man. I don't know. It's adorable. I can't with some of these images. They're so stinking cute. I want more like this. And then I was working on that before Halloween ended and I lost my mojo. But yeah, all of that was shaded with Brewfunner. No marker. And this is the last one for today. Before I break it up into another part, this is Coloring Heavy Nouveau Fairy Special. I'm so glad I got this. I love Harold Leonard, and I hadn't bought his books yet because I heard the paper was bad. But now I don't believe people when they say paper is bad. It's just you know. I mean, I guess there's good paper and bad paper, but you can still make something look great. It doesn't matter. So I'm glad I have this, but I also have all of his other books now, and I don't think the paper's that bad. So yeah, I'm really proud of this one. My Sunflower Lady, Queen of Bumblebee and Sunflower. I based most of it in alcohol marker, and I did some shading with the alcohol marker, and then I went over it with the colored pencil, Prismacolors, particularly in her dress. I did her skin all with colored pencil, did the wings all colored pencil. The flower petals are all just marker though. I didn't feel like I needed to go in there with the colored pencil, but I put some Jelly Roll glaze on the wings and the eyes of the bees, and then her wings have some folk art glitter, which I regret a little bit because sometimes it just looks like dirt on her wings. Should have done like a more sheer. Anyway, you live, you learn. Some glitter gel pen, but yeah, I'm really proud of that one. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Stay tuned for part 2. Thank you for coming by and spending some time with me looking at my coloring books.